The world is my conditioned consciousness objectified. That which I feel and know to be true of myself is now projected into space as my world. I love that. Today we are talking about the feedback loop. Friend, everything that you are experiencing is simply feedback from your conditioned self-concept, right? The conception that you have of yourself is constantly being revealed to you in the form of your experience. So in order to program the feedback loop so that you now experience what you desire to experience, recognize that that's exactly what it is. So first there has to be a recognition that it's a feedback loop, that you are not at the whim, you are not a victim to your circumstances, you are not a victim to your reality. You are the creator of your reality. You are the one calling the shots. As soon as you say I am, there's God, and whatever you place after I am becomes the form, becomes your conditioned consciousness objectified, because consciousness itself is unconditioned, like the awareness state. As soon as you're aware, and you're always aware, that's the unconditioned self. The conditioned self is what you see yourself to be, and also what you see in reality. That's the conditioned self. And you know it's the conditioned self because if you look around your room right now, and shout out to Kimberly because she told me that when I said this in a video before, it really resonated with her. But if you look around your room right now, it's difficult not to have thoughts constantly popping off, not to constantly have the conditioned mind conditioning the experience. It says, there's this, there's this, there's this. And I always challenge, because people say to me like, well, I don't have to do that. And I say, well, don't think a thought for 1 minute. And unless you have experience, you are a meditator, you've meditated, you have a practice of meditating, it's going to be difficult to do that. And even if you have a practice of meditating, don't think a thought for the next hour. It's not possible, because the conditioning is always sprouting information about what you're seeing, which means that it's conditioning the unconditioned field of awareness. So your reality is only your conditioned ideas about it. And this is great news, because that means, my love, my friend, that you can change it. All you have to do is change the programming. And that's it. You change the programming, the feedback that you receive will change, because you're inputting new data. And when you input new data, what it's going to output is going to be a reflection of that data. The same way now, you have all this data, you look around and you see the output of that data. I am Beyond Taylor, and I am here to help you go beyond your self-imposed limitations. If you don't know who I am, I forgot to say that, but y'all know, but you know who I am, friend. So the feedback loop is here to support you. Reality is a mirror, and it's here to help you refine your experience. So you want to be a full-time creator. You're showing up consistently online. You're doing everything that needs to get done. You have no problem being consistent, posting, putting yourself out there, but you feel like you're getting crickets. You feel like you're not getting the response that you believe that you deserve. But this belief isn't deeply ingrained. It's not a part of your programming. So the feedback that you are receiving is based off of your programming. And we know the subconscious mind holds our truest programmings. So if you want to change the output, you put new data, new information into the subconscious mind. The way to do that is to, as Neville would say, leave the old man alone. And also Neville says, you can't put new wine in an old wine glass. You have to completely discard the conditions that you currently see. You can't build on top of those conditions. Leave them alone. And how do you leave them alone? You turn your attention away from them and turn your attention towards the unconditioned aspect of awareness, which is just I am, which is just simply being aware. And you can do that in meditation. Neville says, he has a practice where he says just to say like, I am, I am, I am. And just keep saying that over and over and over again. And it's like, it doesn't, like, don't say I am this or I am that. Just say I am, I am, I am. And it's also, I've been reading a lot of his books, if you guys can't tell. But it's also this quote where he says like, I may not be aware of who I am or where I am or what I am, but I always know that I am. So that is a hint to the fact that it doesn't matter what you are aware of. The fact that you are aware is enough for you to discard the old identity, for you to turn your attention away from the old identity and to place it on the new condition, the new programming, the new data. So I always recommend meditation. Meditate, meditate, meditate. Practice mindfulness throughout the day. Prioritize silence, stillness. Because when you do that, you are, one, not allowing the old conditioning to just run the show. When you are constantly having your attention fixed on, what you're seeing now in your reality, when your attention is constantly fixed on what you're watching, social media, shows, music, all these things, it's difficult to see what the programming even is. So you know that you have the programming and you're like, okay, I have these limiting beliefs. I have these things that are preventing me from seeing my reality. But a lot of times you don't even know what they are, which is fine. You don't have to know what they are in order to turn away from them. But you can't turn away from them if your attention is turned towards somebody else's programming, because you're always being programmed. So it's important to spend time alone, right? Be still and know that I am God, so that you can go into the I am. Be still and know that I am God. I am is God. So when you're still enough and you can go to the I am, the unconditioned, from this unconditioned, now you place your attention on what it is that you desire. So you desire to be a full-time creator. You desire to be a sought-after artist. You desire to have a thriving business. You desire all these things. Place your attention on that from the state of simply being I am. So then now that you're putting this new programming into the subconscious is now going to take this programming and it's going to be deeply ingrained. And it's going to override the old programming because you're no longer focusing on it. So once you stop focusing on it, on the old programming, and you only place your attention on the new programming, then the new programming starts to feed back your desire in the form of the materialization, right? So that your outer senses can experience it, because your inner senses are experiencing it as soon as you place your attention on it in imagination. And imagination doesn't just mean visualizing. Imagination just means inner world. So when you affirm that's your inner world, you're imagining. You're always imagining, but you're probably just not doing it consciously. You're just imagining the old programming over and over, which is why the feedback is revealing to you the old programming over and over. So change the feedback loop by imagining whatever your form of imagination is. I love to visualize. And allow yourself to, and the reason why I like to visualize is because you can really involve all your senses. And that's the best way to impress the subconscious mind is, yes, through repetition, but really through the feeling. Like when you can feel the reality of the desire, your manifestation, you can really program the subconscious mind by feeling it, because the subconscious will really believe that it happened. And once the subconscious believes that it happened, not on your own will, you start to change. You really start to shift, and your reality also starts to rearrange itself to reflect this new truth, because it's reflecting the new data. It's reflecting the new programming. Okay? So, again, I love this quote. I'm going to read it again. The world is my conditioned consciousness objectified. The world is your conditioned consciousness objectified. That's it. It's not bad. It's not good. It's just your conditioned consciousness objectified. Stop demonizing it. Stop wanting it or needing it to be other than what it is. Just say, this is feedback for the programming that I have. If I wanted to change, I just have to change the programming. Now, before the way that we used to address this before is like by seeing it as a problem. It's not a problem. I need you to not think that the feedback that you are receiving is a problem. It's not a problem. It's nothing wrong with it. Look at it from a very neutral perspective, from the perspective of your true self, which is the I am. It's not a problem. It's just feedback. So when you view it through that lens, you see that it's just conditioning and you can change it. And before, we used to address problems by using abrupt force. Our ancestors, when you think back, every time they were meeting a problem, it was always some sort of aggression. So that's why when we have problems, we try to beat ourselves into submission, beat ourselves to think the right thoughts, beat ourselves to feel the right things, to oh my God, I can't believe I behaved that way. It's not a problem. When you stop seeing it as a problem, you'll stop treating yourself harshly while you're reprogramming yourself. There are no problems. Okay? So, the world is my conditioned consciousness objectified. That which I feel and know to be true of myself is now projected into the space of my world. That's why I also said feel. So when you are reprogramming the subconscious by feeling these new ideas and beliefs into it, it is going to be projected into the space as your world. Exactly what's been happening since you were born. Well, when you were born, you had a very unconditioned way of viewing reality, but then you were programmed by society, by your parents and everyone else, and then you started to label everything, and then you had all these constructs, right? You formed the matrix. The matrix is not wrong. The matrix is not bad. It's just programming. That's it. So there's no problems. Change your programming, you change your world. The way you change your programming is by imagining something new. Imagining what you desire in your world. Creative. You are so creative. You are so artistic. You are so imaginative. You have no problem doing this. Do it consciously, intentionally, consistently, and trust. You don't even have to trust. It's gonna happen. Sure, yes, trust, because trust is gonna allow you to keep showing up to do the practice. But just do it to prove yourself. I always say this, right? If you do nothing else, if you just want to prove yourself wrong, this stuff doesn't work, then do it with enough intention to prove that it doesn't work, and then tell me what happens. Actually, I don't know, because then if you're going into it trying to prove that it doesn't work, then you have the belief that it doesn't work, and then that's just gonna be reaffirmed to you as well. So never mind. That's all I got. I'll see you next time. Thriving Creator is live. It is a group mastermind where we talk about stabilizing you and then knowing that you are already who you desire to be now. Beautiful process. Everything is down below. Oh yeah, and my free community, Confident Creator, which is a free community, is down below as well. Join that to connect with like-minded individuals who are confident, showing up, have no problem putting themselves out there, and just conversing with other individuals who are reprogramming themselves, breaking free from the matrix. I feel like the matrix has negative connotations. It's not a negative connotation. And breaking free from the matrix does not mean you just leave it and float away. It means you break free from the matrix that we've been taught and you create your own. That's it. All right, see you guys next time. Bye.